Good morning, third grade. Today we're learning about volume. Volume is an interesting word because really what it is counting cubes like we did yesterday. It's just a very new term that you've never heard before. But before we understand what volume is, we need to look at another term, and it's called cubic units. Cubic units are the units used to measure volume. So for example, inches, feet, and other measurements. And if you notice, the word cubic comes from the word cube. Now let's look back at volume. Volume is the amount of space an object occupies. For example, look at the space inside of this container, or the space inside of a shoebox. This is volume. Whatever it can hold is the volume. Sometimes we see volume in liquids, and sometimes we see it in cubic units. Cubic units. And that's what we're talking about today. So the first thing that we do is we find out how many cubes are in a layer, just like we did yesterday. And really, all it is the area, the length times the width. If we look over here, we see that there are 6, and the length here is 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So we have 6 inches as our length times width. Then we look to our next question again, just like we did yesterday. How many layers are there? Well, that would be the height, or H. So we look back at this stack of blocks, and there are 1, 2, 3 stacks of blocks. So that is our height. So then we go back to how many cubes in all, which really is volume. And we take the length times the width, which remember was 3 times 2 is 6. And then we multiply it times the height, which remember is 3. And we have 6 times 3 is 18. So there's 18 in that stack. Well, these cubes are 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch all the way around. So it is 18 cubic inches. Let's try this together over here with this stack. We can see we have volume. Volume is length times width times height. So we have a length of 4 across and 3 wide, and then 3 high. So we have 4 inches, because they're inches, times 3 inches, times 3 inches. And we know that 4 inches times 3 inches is 12 inches. And 12 inches times 3 inches equals 36 and cubic, and I can't write that neat enough, inches. So now we know, and I'm sorry, not 33, 36 cubic inches. My handwriting is sloppy. Let's get a look over here I'll try it one more time. I'm going quite fast and just flew a pen across the floor. We have a box. We can figure out the volume, about the volume of this box, because we can figure out approximately how many cubic inches we can fit in here. And if we look very carefully at this, we will see that there are, get our formula out, length times width times height, 9 of these square inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches in width times 1, 2, 3 inches high. So if we do that, we come over here, 9 times 6 is 54. 54 times 3. Well, now we have one of these harder multiplication steps to do. 3 times 4 is 12. Put the 2 down here. Put the 1 into the tens. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. And because they did not fit exactly, there's a little bit of space extra, we'll say about 162 cubic inches. Go ahead and try and do one of the activities in your book. I'll have to cover up my answers, but you can try either lesson practice or number 6. See you tomorrow. Bye.